Welcome to the 5 at 5 and smash the like button on this video if your team just got battered 3-0 at home to Brighton, signalling the end of the title challenge. Yeah, depressing. Let's get into my 5 at 5. Number one, I'm going to start on a good note, and this was one moment in the game that I just loved. I thought it was beautiful. Aaron Ramsdale gets the ball. It's the 76th minute I've got in my notes. And he launches it up. He sees Gabriel Jesus in the middle of the park. But as Ramsdale kicks it, it goes right to the touchline, really, really far out on the touchline. If you can watch the highlights and watch this back, Gabriel Jesus, brilliant. Doesn't give up on it. Keeps tracking that ball. He's looking up the whole time, watching that ball, runs over at pace to the right touchline and brings the ball down perfectly. There's sometimes I look at Gabriel Jesus play and I think to myself, yeah, you're definitely Brazilian. An unbelievable footballer. Some of his touches, his ball control, his dribbling skills are absolutely phenomenal. To do all of that, especially when the ball's in the air for that long and you have to judge it and it's coming down, it's close to the touchline, the margin of error is basically minimal. And the way he just was able to kill that was just a moment in the game that I just thought, yeah, that deserves a little bit of plaudits. And when that's the highlight of the match, you know it wasn't a good game. Point number two, game management. And if you are going to go and watch the highlights in the 76th minute for that touch of class from Gabriel Jesus, do me a favour and carry on watching for a few minutes. You'll see in the 77th minute Enciso do something ridiculous. He was off the pitch. I think, his momentum had carried him off the pitch and Arsenal had a throw or Brighton had a throw, I can't even remember. And what he does, he kind of hobbles back up and throws himself like a salmon, actually dives onto the pitch to go down injured on the pitch. It's so frustrating to see this game management. And I'm not going to be a hypocrite. Arsenal are potentially the second or third best team of doing this in the entire league. We are brilliant at it, and I've praised our players for doing it. But as a fan, and if you're going to be objective and honest about it, it ruins the game. It kills the flow. And I am fed up of seeing this game management stutter the game and break the flow of the game. What Enciso did there by literally diving on should really make the ref not play into his hands. But the ref did play into his hands. And what I find really, really annoying is that the ref then calls a physio on, and in the 77th minute then, after that happening, with not long to go of the game, minute later or 3 minutes later, I think it was McAllister who goes down. And then not only that, players are meant to exit from the nearest part of the pitch. But what does the referee do? He allows McAllister to eat up those minutes, and then Enciso is down again. He allows Enciso to eat up more minutes and then allows Enciso, who was just down a few minutes ago as well and dived on the pitch, to walk across the whole width of the pitch rather than exiting at the nearest point. Every year, there's a few rule changes and a few things that referees are told to be even hotter about. And next season, I really think they need to do something to deal with this. And they need to make sure players get booked if they don't leave at the nearest exit of the pitch. This is becoming a joke. And even though it's worked for Arsenal a lot, as a fan, I don't want to see it anymore. Number three, just the unpredictability of the Premier League. Look at this. This week, Brighton have gone away to title-challenging Arsenal and won 3-0 away from home. Everton are hosting Man City at home and hoping to try and nick a point or something, and they go and get comprehensively beaten 3-0 at home. And you think to yourselves, how can it be that the week before, Brighton played Everton at home and Everton won 5-1? When I looked at that game last week and I thought to myself, hold on a second, Everton might just be doing something here and Brighton, perhaps the pressure's getting to them. I could never have imagined that after a 5-1 victory for Everton over Brighton, the two teams are both going to have 3-0 results and Brighton are going to win 3-0, Everton going to lose 3-0. Football is unpredictable, but hey, that's why we love it and that's why we love the Premier League. Number four, defensive struggles. The last clean sheet Arsenal kept at home was 2.5 months ago when we played Everton at home and won 4-0. 2.5 months since a home clean sheet. That's crazy. And yes, we've missed Saliba hugely, but you know what? Even while Saliba was playing, our defence something has just seemed to happen to them in the latter part of the season, or the second half of the season. In 2023, we've only kept 2 clean sheets at home. That's awful. And then also, this is the second time in the last 3 home games that we've conceded 3 goals at home. I mean, this is all a damning indictment of when Saliba's not playing, or our defence overall, or how our defence and overall team have responded to the pressure of recent weeks. But we seriously need to fix up our defence. Now, we're guaranteed second. We're not going to finish first. In a way, it doesn't even matter. But next season, Mikel Arteta needs to make sure that this defence is more like the defence that we saw in the first half of this season, rather than the defence that we've seen in 2023 so far. So, Saliba, he needs to come back. And let me know in the comments below, would you change anything about our defence? Especially with Ben White and how he struggled against Mitoma, would you look to potentially get a better right back in and allow Ben White to be the cover for the right back and the centre back positions, instead of it being Tomiyasu cover and Holding cover? Or do you think Ben White has earned his spot as Arsenal's #1 right back? Let me know in the comments below. And number 5, I've got a question for you, and it might be a little bit controversial, but do you want Man City to win the treble? Hold on, stop shouting, don't get annoyed. There's a reason why I asked that question. And like me, if you're a decent human being, you should and probably do hate Man United. So, with that in mind, if Man City go and win the treble, and also this will be a 3rd Premier League in a row, that will basically take away the sparkle of Man United's achievements back in 1999 when they won the treble, and also when they've done a 3-peat on the Premier League. Now, the only thing that in the Premier League era will remain as just a unique achievement, only one team has done it, is the Invincibles era and that Invincible season. So let me ask you again, would you like to see Man City win the treble with all of that in mind? Or am I just sort of reaching a little bit too far here? Personally, I want them to win the treble. I want them to win the Champions League. The sooner they do that, the sooner there's a chance of Pep Guardiola going somewhere else, and it completely tramples over what Man United have done. People can turn around and say, yeah, that's happened before, no big deal. That's happened since, no big deal. But the Invincibles remain gold. Thank you very much for watching the 5 at 5. Please do subscribe if you haven't already. Loads of you watch this and don't subscribe. What's that all about? Hit that button. And few games to go this season. I'm proud of the team overall. Massively frustrated though, and massively gutted as well. And we'll see how we get on against Nottingham Forest. I don't want Arsenal to peter out and play rubbish football and rubbish results as this season comes to an end. I want to end on a high. So hopefully a win against Forest and a win against Wolves. I'll see you after Forest. Take care.